Welcome to the Exposer. So today I'll be exposing Spac Nation's gospel drill rappers, the Hope Dealers. There's a lot of information that the general public does not know about Hope Dealers. People know the name, but people don't know the members. But along the years, the members have changed. So it's important to expose how the Hope Dealers started and where the Hope Dealers are right now. So to my knowledge, these are the three guys that started the Hope Dealers. Three friends that used to go to the same church and wanted to all become rappers. Later on, only two members kept the Hope Dealers. And that's the guy in the middle, Pastor Nathan, and the guy on the right, Means. It's also important to know that the guy on the right, Means, is the guy that pushed the Hope Dealers. He's the guy that had the desire for the Hope Dealers to succeed. He gave his whole life to the Hope Dealers. But his story will be explained later on. So before Hope Dealers became a gospel drill group, these three used to be Christian rappers. So their lyrics was mainly about Christianity and the Bible's teaching. So there was nothing controversial about the Hope Dealers when it was these three.
Get the past, look to the future. Tell them boys be stationary, guy the ruler. His name's God, bruh. Let me introduce you. Enter the kingdom like the keyboard on the computer.
It mean every word, and it flows like off our head. Get your alright, say they boring squally. I'm wearing volley just on my jobby. There's no molly in my trolley, got cracks on no 40. 8 on board, Ollie, where's Wally? Ain't your basic Johnny. Sim rains copped to Brody, skidding like Nolly. I'm gone,
Past gold, pick and choose if it's smart, but your art gold. I'm like Moses with a rod, they be smoking all this pot. Got them zoning, but they lost, I'm trying to show them to the cross. Time is rolling on the clock. Grab a hold of God.
Worship ain't dead, my Savior's still breathing. Christ is Lord, I still hashtag it and tweet it. You don't have to live that life, you don't have to live that lie. Mind changed, transformed because of what I did that night.
Hit me out, yo, just check it. God says ain't no medic, I tell him direct with no debit. Got hope for the sick, no chemist. Hit me out, yo, just check it. God says ain't no medic, I tell him direct with no debit. Got hope for the sick, no chemist. Hey.
So you guys can see, three guys who just wanted to rap and talk about God. But the transition to what Hope Dealers have become today is quite dramatic. So over the years, the other member of the Hope Dealers left, so it was just these two. It is unknown why he left, but I'm assuming it's because he knew that Spac Nation wasn't a good place to be at. So these two continued to be the Hope Dealers. So whilst at Spac Nation started to develop a reputation of a church where there was finances involved, a church that would invest in young people. So the church started to get well known to the public. But these two rappers were still doing and representing the Hope Dealers. So even though they weren't well known, because they was attached to Spac Nation, they started to get a bit of recognition. So they'll get invited to places like the Black Box to do freestyles. But later on, other members of Spac Nation that had a passion for rapping would also join the Hope Dealers. So the Hope Dealers recruited two members called Alexander Kenlock and Dills, who were the first two guys to wear the ballies. They also had Stephen S. Rose. They had a guy called Faye. They had a guy called D9. And they also had a guy called Kwame. So these guys were the new members of the Hope Dealers. So the Hope Dealers became a drill music group. They claimed that they was the first gospel drill group to come out. So they had a lot of controversies around them, and they was invited on Fire in the Booth by Charlie Sloth. And it was in this Fire in the Booth that they gained the attention of a lot of people. So this is how the Hope Dealers became known around London. They said a lot of controversial stuff that actual drill rappers would use in their lines. But they tried to justify it by saying that they used the same language or the same lingo, but it didn't have the same meaning. So inside the church, people loved the Fire in the Booth. And inside the Fire in the Booth, there was one part particularly that the Spac members would go crazy every time the verse came. So let me play that verse.
Listen.
Loud even.
Rev ain't blessed with the talking, so we just lean out the red. Whoa. My young boys got a thing for the souls. I had to teach them how to build up their line. Whoa. I drug every day. Whoa. Do praise and I worship at night. Never gonna catch me lacking, got a KJ on me all the time. Bow. 2 souls in the bank, that's credit. Wanna ride Sam, just leg it. And so's the S-Rose new fetish. Still do it how I did it in Avonmouth. Anything Neff can get.
So the beginning of that verse was done by now an ex-Spac Nation pastor by the name of Dills. So whenever that verse will get played in the church will go crazy. And they will rewind that verse every time, over and over again. It was Spac Nation's favourite part of the track. So Dills today is no longer part of Spac Nation or the Hope Dealers. He was one of the first members to leave. He was also a very close friend of Alexander Kenlock, the other guy who wears a bally. Dills today has exposed Spac Nation. He's done a live video on Instagram with TK Mad Max confirming that a lot of the things that we all think of Spac Nation is the truth. So he didn't want to be part of that, which is good. So he was one of the first guys to leave at Spac Nation. One of the main guys, in fact, to leave. But Hope Dealers tried to be smart because they replaced him with another guy who wore a bally. So people outside Spac Nation wouldn't realise that members of the Hope Dealers were actually leaving. So this is what they did. They replaced Dills with another rapper who wore a bally.
I done said already, Dills done left already. And I still get calls from members, but by now they should have left already. Big man soon pack up his bags and fly out to Nash, but they know already. So why do them man still sow seed? I just hope that they're ready. From time I've been going on glides. I bet all of them must feel awkward every time they hear just lean out the ride. It's not everyday forced to drip, my bro, it's fine. Just pay off your fines, fine. You ain't saying so, stop lying. And big man, stop grooming. You was talking west about stadiums, what stadium? Big man was brewing. Like I thought it's fake. And walk on with all of that business. Don't worry, I'll wait. Nothing, bro, it's cool, stop stunting. Just pay off your debts, at least give them something. And feed the young boys in the cribs, they're starving.
So that was a recent freestyle done by Dills, the ex-Hope Dealer rapper. Basically talking about Spac Nation and the Hope Dealers. And he mentioned something like, every time his part comes on, they must be embarrassed. Because obviously he's no longer there. So it must be awkward for them. So over a period of time, the Hope Dealers and Spac Nation had a new member, TK Mad Max. So TK is a guy who was well known in North London. And he was already an up-and-coming rapper. So he had a bit of a name for himself. And because of his testimony about the things he used to do before, that went viral. So TK, at the time, had a lot of eyes on him. So Pastor Toby knew that TK joining the Hope Dealers would improve the chances of fame. So TK introduced a dance that he put out in one of his old songs, named the Juju Bop, into the Trap Mash. So Trap Mash did very well in terms of numbers online. And the Hope Dealers were now known by a lot of people. They started to even perform in places. They even performed in a nightclub. So the Hope Dealers gained success from the Trap Mash. And at the time, TK Mad Max was arrested for an old case. TK was later freed from jail. And after his return from jail, a few months later, TK had left Spac Nation and the Hope Dealers. So the guy who made the Hope Dealers well known, and the guy who gave them a dance, the guy who gave them the concept of the dance, was no longer part of the Hope Dealers and Spac Nation. So you guys can see 2.1 million views. So that's the most views the Hope Dealers have ever had. This is the only video that's even touched over 1 million views from the Hope Dealers. So you can see the impact that TK had whilst he was in Hope Dealers. But TK never originally wanted to be part of the Hope Dealers, because for a lot of the guys that know the rapper, he's always been a solo artist. So he always wanted to make it for himself. But Spac Nation restricted him from being a solo artist. He mentioned himself, Pastor Toby did not allow him to do what he wanted. So that's one of the reasons why he also left Spac Nation. So today you guys know as TK is going against the whole organisation. And he's fighting for Spac Nation to be closed. So back to Means, one of the original creators of the Hope Dealers. He was always someone that wanted to be a rapper, and has put his heart in trying to achieve that dream. When he originally created the Hope Dealers, his plan was for the group to prosper as a Christian group. But today the group has been overtaken by a lot of fraudsters, and the group have had a lot of controversies. And he no longer leads the group because he isn't as corrupted as the other members. He has never done anything to anybody, which shows, because he was the only member that was never ordained as a pastor. Everyone else in the Hope Dealers was ordained as a pastor, apart from himself and TK Mad Max. Because the Hope Dealers had a name now, Alexander Kenlock became the leader of the Hope Dealers. He was the one doing interviews and talking on behalf of the group. They were pushing Means out of his own group that he created. A group that he created 5 or 6 years before joining Spac Nation. They stopped considering him. They made decisions without him. Because he was a good guy, they took advantage of him. Means became so stressed out. And Spac Nation did a lot of things behind the scene to him that today Means was sectioned. And this is all because of what Spac Nation did to him. He left the church and now he's on his road to recovery. So you guys need to understand one thing. The only reason Means was at Spac Nation for that long was only because the group that he had created was finally getting a recognition. But you guys need to understand that Means was the only member in the Hope Dealers that just wanted them to make music, positive music. He was the only one in the Hope Dealers that has never done anything to anybody. He's the only guy that never even knew how corrupted his church was, because his main focus was just the music. He has never asked anybody to take out a loan, and he has never encouraged anyone to do illegal things. This is why the Hope Dealer members pushed him aside and never allowed him to get involved. So you guys need to understand, Means is going through a lot. So we need to pray. Pray to God that Means returns to good health. Because like I mentioned, he has been sectioned. I'm not sure where he's at right now, but what Spac have done to him has almost ruined his life. And this is what Spac Nation do. They destroy people's lives. They destroy people's lives. And the ones who are good are the ones that have to suffer. So if you're in Spac Nation and you're doing the good things, they will use you. You won't realize it because a lot of the corruption that goes on, they won't do it in front of you. And this is what happened with Means. He wasn't part of the corruption. His main focus was just the music group. So he just wanted to do music. But he didn't want to participate in the illegal things that these people in Spac Nation do. And today, this is the consequence of a guy who is genuine. He has to deal with all this pain. And nobody knows this. Only people at Spac Nation know this. But no one has come out to discuss this. So we need to speak about it. People need to understand that this is what Spac Nation do. They destroy young people's lives. People with careers. People with talent. And Means, by the way, is the most important person in the Hope Dealers. He's the guy that has fought for this group. But nobody even knows him. People just know the group. And people know the guys wearing the belly. So it's important for people to know that this guy, before the Hope Dealer was known, he was putting a lot of work into this group. He did countless videos. So check out old videos of the Hope Dealers and you will see what I'm talking about. He has done a lot of solo projects by himself. He has really tried his best to make something out of himself. So that's the third person that has left the Hope Dealers. So the only original member that's left is Nathan. And Nathan, who's done a lot of corrupted things, cannot leave the Hope Dealers. Because he has been part of the corruption at Spac Nation. Because this is a man that has divorced his own wife for the sake of Spac Nation. This is the guy that has made people take out loans. A guy who has taken out loans himself. So this is the reason why Nathan cannot leave the Hope Dealers. So the two most active members now of the Hope Dealers are Stephen S. Rose and Alexander Kenlock, also calls himself Bread. The Hope Dealers have decreased. The other members are named at the beginning that are still part of the Hope Dealers, still represent them, but these two guys are the ones that are putting out music. And you guys will see, since Means, TK Mad Max and Dills have all left the Hope Dealers, the numbers has been going down and down. So these guys are now seeing the importance of the ex-members. They released the latest track called War is War, who was a diss mainly at TK Mad Max, but the performance of the song wasn't good. So you guys can see, the latest song did 71k views in 4 weeks. This is a downfall of a group that mistreated the main members. A group that betrayed its main members. Because they just wanted the corrupted ones to run the group. And you can see the views, 71k views in 4 weeks. This is a group that hit over millions of views. Over hundreds of thousands of views. Now they're struggling to even reach 100k views. And this is their own fault. The views will probably increase after this video. Out of curiosity, people will check out the videos. But this is a downfall of a music group which originally had a good idea and a good plan. But today the group is destroyed. And the main reason for that is because Nathan sold out his own group for the love of Spac Nation and the love of Pastor Toby. Pastor Toby is also very responsible, because Pastor Toby would dictate everything that the Hope Dealer do. He would have to see the song. He would have to hear it and tell them whether they're allowed to put it out or not. So he's also one of the reasons for this downfall of the Hope Dealers. Right now, the Hope Dealers are no longer relevant because the church's image is tarnished. But I felt like it was important for people to understand where the hope dealers are at right now. So the people who represent the hope dealers now are not original members. These are thieves. They stole the name and now it's become part of the brand. But the guy who has created and the guy who gave everything to the hope dealers is no longer part of it. So people, we must boycott the hope dealers. Do not listen to the music. Everything they're doing right now is bad. They are thieves. They're stealing from each other. They're stealing from their own people. They're affecting people's mental health, and this is very important. So guys, anyone that wants to help Means, who is the creator of the hope dealers, the guy who's been sectioned, the guy who's going through a lot of issues because of Spac Nation, please message me on Twitter. If you want to help him morally, financially, you want to pray for him, message me on my Twitter and I'll try to forward a contact. We need to help this young man because this young man has done everything he can. This young man has never lived a corrupted lifestyle. He has tried his best and today he's struggling. Let's help him out, guys. Spac Nation is a corrupted church. Hope Dealers is a corrupted group and we need to expose them. So this is the exposing of the Hope Dealers.